been a long road without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Yes, it has been a long road. It has.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do 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 do.
Interrupted by talking and rapping and da 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 da. Yeah, I listened to that, and it is a nice song, except when the rapping comes in.
What are you talking about? Wiz Khalifa kills it.
Nah.
There's one line in that Wiz Khalifa bit where I'm like impressed.
Really?
Yeah, every time he does it, I'm like, yo, that was an innovative flow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hey, welcome to the franchise, episode number 70. Right?
Nope.
No?
Episode 69.
Oh, hell yeah. I just wanted to hear it. 69.
Yeah.
All
69. Right. Closing out the franchise of the Furious.
Yep. And, hey, it's me, your boy, on the ones and the twos, Daniel Ehrenberg.
And it's me, your boy, Henry, on the GSP South. Keep going south and you're in AC. Bet on black. What's going on, everyone?
Always bet on black.
Always.
Yeah, lots of black movie stars have told me that in joke form.
Does Chris Tucker say that in Rush Hour?
I believe he does.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Rush Hour 2. Remember? Because they go to Vegas where they meet Jeremy Piven. Remember?
Oh, correct.
Yeah.
The
All
great.
Right.
Yes.
The great Jeremy Piven. Tune in tonight for the premiere of his new show, Wisdom of the Crowd, on CBS. I'll be watching. Oh.
Sorry, folks. I got a full lineup tonight. Sunday night TV. It's just like the old days. Sunday nights on HBO.
Yeah, HBO is one of their best lineups ever right now. They've got The Deuce, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Vice Principals.
Just crazy. Craziness.
But there's a lot on tonight. Last Man on Earth.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're killing me. I didn't know that. How am I going to do this? Oh.
All right. Hey, let's stop talking about our TV schedules.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on, though. Hey, lots of franchises in TV right now. Yeah. Tomorrow, The Gifted premieres on Fox. A new X-Men related show directed by Bryan Singer.
Uh-oh.
And I just watched last night the 2-hour premiere of Inhumans.
How was that?
Pretty bad. I'll watch every ep.
Is Black Bolt on it?
Yep, he's there. Not talking, because that voice is dangerous.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Wow, that'd be a difficult character to translate to television.
Yep, they did it, though. They picked this really bad actor. He pulls a lot of faces, you know? Like, yeah, he's like a mime or something.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Okay. Today we're covering Furious 7 and the fate of the Furious. And we got to get serious here.
We do.
Because Furious 7 is the Paul Walker death ballad.
Yeah.
And, we're saying goodbye to a very important man. Why are you laughing? I'm
gonna get this out of the way right now. We're not even there yet, but I was a little bit slightly choked up at the end of the movie.
Me too. Of course you were. It's emotional.
Hard not to.
It's emotional.
Yeah.
They really.
Yeah, it's hard not to because it was a sad circumstance, and they really have affection for him, so it didn't feel like shoved in type of pseudo emotional bullshit. It was nice. I didn't think I'd get choked up because I don't really care about the character and I didn't care about Paul Walker. So it was.
I'll tell you what. This whole time though, I'm not caring about Brian so much.
Right.
But he does ground the movies because then, like Fate of the Furious, I kind of missed Brian.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll get there.
All right. I'm drinking cucumber melon.
Wow.
Seltzer.
Cucumber melon. Who makes that?
Oh, Poland Spring, the only seltzer brand worth drinking.
I wouldn't agree with that, but I do buy a lot of Poland Spring.
It's the best.
I have the poor man's one today again, Gold Emblem.
Ugh, get out of here with that.
Well, it's $3.50 for 6 of them. So
I wish if I wasn't sober, I'd be drinking Corona to send off the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah, or a Belgian ale.
No, never Belgian ale. Who are you, Mr. Nobody? All right, let's get into it. These are all inside Fast and Furious jokes.
Yeah.
Furious 7 comes out a bunch of years. How many years, Henry? Because 6 comes out in 13. Oh, they managed to get it out 2 years later. But
Yeah,
they were going to do a 1-year release window, which I don't know whether that have worked.
Yeah.
But
Right.
But it comes out 2 years later because of Paul Walker's death.
Yeah.
We got to write that into the movie. And believe me when I tell you, I was distracted by that the entire movie, trying to figure out what scenes were written after Paul Walker died.
Yeah, it occurred to me quite a few times, but only 2 or 3 times in the movie was I seeing the CGI / body doubles of his brothers.
Me too, but I can tell everything that was written after he died.
Oh, okay.
And we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so James Wan is our new director. Chris Morgan is back as writer. I know you're a James Wan fan.
Yes. I'm going to look at his thing right now. I maybe I've seen more of his films than you have. I don't know.
I believe you have.
I liked very much.
Well, let's just go through his stuff. He's a young Asian fella. Japanese?
No. He's Malaysian.
Ooh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he made a big splash in 2004 with his debut film, Saw.
Which I think is great.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
All right.
Yeah. But I remember enjoying it. And then 3 years later, he releases 2 films. And both of them were kind of disappointments. And I kind of wrote him off. I was like, oh, motherfucker left the Saw franchise. Decided not to do any sequels. And now he's releasing these scrub movies. He's out.
Well, yeah, but
those were Dead Silence and Death Sentence.
Dead Silence, I think it's great. It's hilarious. Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's the fucking dummy one with the puppets and shit. It is a great campy / kind of scary horror movie. I like it.
Okay, but then
Death Sentence, I don't know what the fuck that is.
I don't know either. But he learns his lesson.
He does.
He all of a sudden starts creating a bunch of new franchises and keeps up with them. So in 2010, Insidious is a surprise hit. And he followed that up with Insidious Chapter 2. And the same year, he's prolific, this guy. That's how he's able to do Furious 7 in 2 years, even with his lead dying.
Right.
Insidious Chapter 2, he releases simultaneously with The Conjuring, which obviously is a big hit, and also very good.
Excellent movie. Excellent. Insidious is good, too. The second chapter, not as much, but the first one's very, very good, and The Conjuring goes without saying. I'm looking forward to covering that. That was really good, as was the sequel, I thought.
I thought so, too. I haven't seen the Insidious movies, but Conjuring I like, and he did Furious 7 between Conjuring and Conjuring 2. Conjuring was such a big hit that I think that's what got him Furious 7.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. And so he hasn't really done that many movies.
No.
Like 6 or 7 movies, yeah.
But I like that he stuck with his Conjuring and Insidious franchises, and you know what he's doing next, right?
I sure do.
Yep. Aquaman.
Yeah.
Heading into the DCU. Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Dothraki.
Yeah. He, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. That could be a horror movie of a different type.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. But, you got to give this guy the benefit of the doubt at this point. He's made a bunch of good ones.
It's true.
Including Furious 7. So.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, no. We'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Furious 7 released April 3rd, 2015, on a very high budget of $190 million.
Didn't matter.
Didn't matter. That's what I was waiting for. Box office, $1.5 billion.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Oh.
That's crazy.
I've got to say that some of that had to do with people wanting to line up to see Paul Walker.
Oh, absolutely. And they promoted it that way. I remember I was living in Bushwick at the time, and there was a Furious 7 poster in the subway, the Jefferson Street subway stop. And it was this big poster, and the tagline on it was "One Last Ride."
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and it was a big picture of Walker, and I remember someone wrote in pen under "One Last Ride" just the words "to death." Stay classy, Bushwick.
Gotta love those New York City subway graffiti people.
Great.
Love it.
Okay. Furious 7 came in a big year at the box office 2015. It would have done better this year because we're not doing as great. Number 5 at the box office, behind Inside Out, Avengers Age of Ultron, Jurassic World, and Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It had some tough compo.
Tough compy. And, hey, but Furious 7, first Fast and Furious to be nominated for some major awards.
Yeah, Golden Globe, right?
Nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Song, See You Again.
Didn't win, though.
Didn't win. What won? Do you know?
Nope.
You look that up. Google that.
All right. I'm on it.
It also won the award for Best Film, Henry.
Oh, at what?
At the great long-running institution, the People's Choice Awards. Furious 7 was the People's Choice for 2015.
Oh, well, that's the people, I guess.
That's what the people had to say. Do you have those? You have those Best Song noms yet?
Right here. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Oh boy.
What is it?
I'm not happy with this. God, from one of my favorite franchises ever, this song won. One of the worst Bond songs ever.
Is it that Sam Smith one?
Yep.
Yeah, what's that called?
Writings on the Wall.
It's the writings on the wall.
Was that George Lucas singing it? Because it might as well have been.
No, Sam Smith. Hey, I like Sam Smith, but that is a piss-poor Bond song.
That is a really piss-poor Bond song, especially coming off the heels of...
Skyfall!
That's right. The Adele song, which is great. Yeah.
Should I sing this entire episode?
That's fine with me.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we'll get some feedback.
We'll shed listeners, but...
So he lost to Sam... Wiz Khalifa lost to Sam Smith.
What else was nominated that year?
God damn it, Dan. I took it off the thing.
Come on!
I didn't think you would want to know that.
I do.
All right, I'll get right back on it then.
Thank you.
I didn't recognize anything else, but that's me because I don't pay attention to a lot of songs.
I pay attention to the best songs.
Oh, I know you do. You're like with the songs like I am with the scores. I pay a lot of attention to that.
That might be true, yeah.
All right, the other songs were Love Me Like You Do.
Love me like you do. Love me like you do. What's that, Selena Gomez?
No. It's from 50 Shades of Grey. And
Yeah.
it's from 5 different people.
Who is it?
It only gives the writers. It doesn't say
Oh,
the
for
person.
fuck's sake.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll click on the song.
I remember that song.
Ellie Goulding.
Ellie Goulding, of course. They got way better with 50 Shades Darker, which might be nominated for a Golden Globe this year. T Swift and Zayn from One Direction teamed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
From Love and Mercy, One Kind of Love.
Mm.
Brian Wilson.
Yeah, right. Brian Wilson wrote a song for the closing credits of that.
And then from the movie Youth, there was a song nominated called Simple Song Number 3.
Yeah, that's...
By Sumi Joe. That's like operatic, I guess, because she's an opera singer. That's all I know about her. I assume it's an operatic song.
I'm not sure about that. I think Simple Song Number 3 was written by maybe a pop star, but...
It was written by David Lang.
Oh, then fuck it. Who cares? All right.
Yeah, he's a quote-unquote serious composer.
Okay. They should have given it to See You Again.
Not to me.
I really think See You Again from Furious 7 should have won that Golden Globe.
Well, sure. I mean, if anything, just for what it's representing, and it's the Golden.
It was very important
Globes.
to the film, and it was a big hit on the radio.
It was.
Yeah.
I read that. Yeah.
I used to hear it all the time. I couldn't escape it that summer, and I didn't want to.
You couldn't hit the NOS and get away from it.
No.
No.
Speaking of the NOS, Race Wars back in Furious 7 right off the bat.
Which leads me to my first note.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic Toretto invented Race Wars.
Well, he does seem to be greeted back at Race Wars as this returning hero.
No, he says it, my friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Michelle Rodriguez says, like, what is race? What is this? And he goes,
because Letty still doesn't have her memory.
right. He goes, we invented Race Wars. Yeah,
But
so
does
like,
he
all right.
mean that, or does he just mean we made it what it is today?
I took it at face value. I think he invented it.
Okay.
I always thought that the race wars were invented by Strom Thurmond in 1948, but I guess I was wrong.
It's pretty good.
Not sure.
I always thought it was invented by Christopher Columbus in 1492.
That's a good guess too.
Yeah.
But no, Dom Toretto.
Dom Toretto did it, and so Race Wars is back. They're greeted as returning heroes. Letty's gonna race. We need a new pop star to start the race. Drop the flag. Remember last movie we had Rita Ora.
Yeah, who is this now?
Oh, come on! It's 2015. It's gotta be Iggy Azalea.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yep.
Boy, what an odd thing to have these female pop stars just have that one little role. But
also, Iggy is an Australian rapper, and I think she's doing a little bit of an American accent here.
Yeah, I didn't hear any Australia there.
Hilarious.
Very talented.
Okay. We also get the return of Hector.
Yeah, who gets punched in the face.
It's nice to see him, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Hector.
Yeah, Michelle Rodriguez getting a little bit of PTSD happening.
Yeah, well, we're still dealing with her amnesia in this film. We're doubling down on amnesia.
Betting on black, doubling down.
What else is going on with our characters straight off the bat? I'll tell you what, Mia's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Again.
She's pregnant with their second kid. Meanwhile, Paul Walker is playing the dad figure, taking his kid to school. We see him. And now, here's what I have to say. The second baby, Henry.
Yeah.
This they came up with after Paul Walker died.
Oh, really?
And here's how I know.
Okay. Oh, this is just you're postulating.
This is a theory.
Okay.
We never hear Brian talk about it.
Well, he doesn't know about it at first, but then when she tells him,
Most of the scenes are Dom and Mia talking about it. Like, I'm worried about telling him, and Dom's like, he'll be happy, but I understand what you're going through. And then later on in the movie, Mia finally tells Brian, and it's on a phone conversation.
Oh, well done.
And when Mia tells Brian, you have a kid, we see Brian react silently, which I think they used from a different take.
Okay.
And then he starts saying, I remember meeting you back then. He starts like reminiscing about their relationship.
Yeah. So it's not okay.
I think that was originally just a phone conversation. One of these conversations, like something dangerous is about to happen, and I need to call you to tell you I love you.
Oh, okay.
But they shoehorned in this second baby subplot so that we can retire them at the end of the movie.
Perceptive, my friend.
Thank you.
I didn't think. I didn't look that deep into it. I didn't.
It's all I was paying attention to. I was honestly very distracted for a lot of Furious 7 because I know the backstory of this movie. They'd only filmed like a third of it when Paul Walker died.
Wow.
And so I give James Wan a ton of credit for pulling this off because Furious 7 basically just feels like another Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
And there was a learning curve. Like, this is his first big budget movie, basically. And
his first action movie.
No, it's his first big budget movie. Those Conjuring movies don't cost more than like $30 million.
Okay.
He's working with $190 million budget for Furious 7.
No, that's true. It's just that you had said that last week too, and I was just wanted to make a distinction between. I mean, he's not. It's not like he's Tom McCarthy making.
No, but he's made successful movies. But this is a lot to wrangle.
Yeah, it's true. And
especially with your lead dying.
Right, and he's stepping into a very successful thing. So, it's true.
A lot of pressure for James Wan. Mm-hmm. But he shouldn't have worried. He had Chris Morgan.
That's what I was thinking during the movie. Yeah.
All right, so Mia's pregnant again. She's very fertile. And our new villain is, of course, Deckard Shaw.
Great name.
Such a great name, man. Played by the great Jason Statham.
I really like him when he's playing a bad guy. It's great.
Yeah. I like him always. I like him always.
So do I. And I mean, I didn't really realize how much I liked him, I guess, until we really did Crank, and he really is good. He's really good.
He's incredible. And we'll cover him a bunch more on the franchise, because
that's
all he does.
That's true.
We can do The Expendables. We can do The Transporter.
Yeah.
We can do The Mechanic.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be coming back.
He's in a lot.
And if he isn't heading a franchise, I'm sure he's in some other ones we haven't even thought of. So, yeah.
Very possibly.
So I'm sure they'll tap him in at some point into a Marvel thing.
How have they not done that yet?
I don't know. I'm sure
you know why? Because he's in the Furious movies, man. They're basically Marvel franchises at this point. They're gigantic movies that come out every couple summers.
With superheroes.
Yeah, they are superheroes now.
It's true.
Yeah. So Dex, as we sometimes call him, Deckard Shaw, is our new villain. He's Owen's brother. You might recall Owen Shaw from Fast and Furious 6. We did not like him. Who
you asked if he died or not, and I figured, of course he died.
He did not. He did not die. But Jason Statham is still getting revenge for his presumed death in What?
Now, I have to ask you a question. All right. I didn't understand this at the end of 6 in The Stinger, and I didn't understand it even after it was kind of explained to me. All right. So Han, our beloved Han, dies in that, road race in Tokyo Drift, which we are revisited in 6.
Yes.
Now,
Some of 7 takes place simultaneously with Tokyo Drift.
That's right. What I didn't understand was that I still think the way the film is shot, is shot, how I thought Han was a goner anyway. And it's implied that Jason Statham killed him. But he doesn't kill him. He's in a horrible car accident, and in Tokyo Drift, as I recall, the gasoline gets to the car before Lucas Black can save him.
That's what we thought happened.
Well, but then I don't see Jason Statham doing anything to
what the fuck are you talking about? First of all, he's the one that T-bones Han.
Okay, see, I did not even catch that. Do you see him get out of the car after he T-boned? Okay, I must have been distracted. I don't know. I didn't see that. I just see Statham walking. I didn't catch him get out of
He T-bones Han. He takes a look in the car to see if Han's still alive. He is. He starts walking away from the car. Then he presses a button in his hand, and the car blows up.
Oh, that I remember. Okay, all right. You're refreshing my memory. It's hard to, keep these things straight. Okay, all right. So it is directly shown that he...
Jason Statham, Deckard Shaw, kills Han.
Okay.
But of course, by the end of The Fate of the Furious, he's family.
Yeah, naturally. Like family, sins are forgiven.
Yeah, big time sins.
No problem.
Maybe murdering other members of the family.
Yeah, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
No problem. Poor Han. I mean, Jesus.
I know.
He's probably up in heaven or wherever, going, "What the fuck, guys?"
I hope he's in heaven with Giselle.
Me too.
Yeah.
Maybe they're in what's that island where Wonder Woman lives? Maybe they're over there.
Themyscira.
Yes, thanks. I knew it began with a T, but I probably couldn't have pronounced it. So yeah,
I haven't even seen that movie, and I know that shit.
Well, you know
I've read
comic.
some Wonder Woman comics. All right, so but Statham commits a much greater sin than killing Han, I think. Blowing up 1327.
Oh, dude, don't do that.
Domicile. The old domicile.
Did you just come up with that?
Yes, I did.
You wrote it down.
No, I didn't.
Oh man. Well done.
And
note to self: I should have thought of that pun.
And it's a real bummer. Everyone gets out of there okay, thankfully. Thank God.
Thank you. Brian, in what I just keep getting duped. I keep getting duped in these movies. Brian closes the van door to shield his son and gets whacked against the glass.
Oh, did you think he died there?
No, I just definitely thought he'd have a cut.
Oh, no, of course not.
Just a cut.
He only breaks the side window with his face, but no cuts.
No concussion, no wake up, Brian, my God, nothing. Just... I don't even think they say, "Are you okay?" They're just worried about the kid.
These characters are indestructible, Henry.
It is crazy. Yeah.
So then that's when Dom takes the opportunity to fly out to Tokyo.
Yeah.
To say goodbye to Han and meet Boswell. What's his first name? Lucas Black. Sean Boswell.
We missed the race. We don't get to see that.
We don't get to see the race.
Vin wins, though. We're told.
Yeah. Well, of course, he's Vin.
He's the drifter.
He's the Drift King.
He's not. He's not, though. Boy, that was a short-lived title for Lucas Black. He was
It's true. He's the Drift King for 2
like
seconds.
a second, and then he loses his first race.
We get to see a new scene with Lucas Black and Diesel chatting after the race.
Looking considerably older.
Listen, it's undeniable.
Yeah, you pointed it out last week, and I kind of said, nah. They are seasoned. They are long in the tooth at this point.
I mean, especially Lucas Black, because Tokyo Drift.
He's like a kid.
He's like 16 in that movie. And here he is. It's supposed to be seconds after the end of Tokyo Drift, and he looks 40.
Well, drifting really takes a toll on you.
I guess. Gee, yeah, what happened in that race?
He went into that vortex in 2001 where Keir Dalia just ages rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what happens in those Tokyo parking garages. You know.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, that was my esoteric.
No, I enjoyed the reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a franchise.
Yeah.
So Lucas Black talks over to Dom a little bit about Han and what's going on.
I thought he would come back with Vin to help the team out a little bit. I thought he'd be part of the family.
I think he should join the family.
I think he should too. I don't think it's very nice because he ain't no Drift King no more.
According to IMDb, Lucas Black is going to be in Furious 9. So there's still time.
Good.
Yeah. Lucas.
He gonna be there. And I gotta tell you something. Like we said last week, I think I'm gonna see 9 in the theater. I think I am.
I'm definitely going to. And then we'll cover it on the podcast.
I have put too much effort into these fucking movies to not see it. I'm gonna see it.
Yeah. And hey, we don't have a white guy on the team anymore. Well, it's Statham, I guess.
What does that even mean?
No, I'm saying Lucas Black can be the new guy.
Yeah, we have to go support the new white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so meanwhile, Jason Statham is running riot. He breaks into the DSS building.
One of my favorite scenes in the movie.
The fight between The Rock and Jason Statham.
The whole thing is there's a few scenes that are great, but that's I'll probably trump it later, but that's my favorite scene. I love that scene. I love the way that The Rock finds Jason Statham just hacking into the computer, and he's so calm, Jason Statham.
Yeah.
And then a fist fight, and it's great.
It's a monster fist fight.
I love it.
And I mean, it's what I've always wanted to see. It's Chev Chelios versus The Rock.
And I gotta say, Vin and The Rock had a fight, and I said that it was a little hard to believe that The Rock just didn't wipe the floor with Vin. And part of that was not, just based on muscular stature, but that Vin is just a street brawler. But they write in that Jason Statham is British Special Ops.
And
so
also,
I found it more believable that
Vin is slow. Like, Jason Statham is tall and wiry. And so he's like running around, running off the walls. He's like ducking underneath The Rock.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's an incredible fight. And it ends with The Rock jumping out of a window to save Elena. And they land on a car and everything's cool.
Yeah, which leads me to one of my favorite dialogue scenes in the hospital where The Rock is recovering.
Okay. When
Vin Diesel shows up, and there's just that little exchange they have, and The Rock's daughter goes up to Vin and says, "My daddy said he kicked your ass once," and Vin Diesel says, "Your dad's on heavy pain meds."
It is revealed that The Rock is a father in Furious 7, and he has a cute little Samoan-looking girl.
Yeah, no mention of a wife or anything like that.
I think he's a single dad.
Yeah, which was nice. It was a nice little touch. They didn't even bother to even explain any of that. It's just kind of like, okay, yeah, he's a single dad.
I like to think his wife was maybe in the DSS and died in an earlier mission.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But, The Rock is in the hospital most of this movie, and that's a bummer.
Yeah, it is.
Not enough Rock in this movie, even though every time he shows up, he's unbelievable.
Not enough Rock, and I gotta say, and this is made up for in the eighth one, in the final one, but not enough Jason Statham.
Interesting. Well, because he's the villain. You can't show the villain that much. Although we show Charlize Theron ad nauseum in Fate of the Furious.
Yes, we do. And we've had, through Resident Evil, we've had a little bit of a problem with having a good actor play a villain. And,
we finally have it.
Right, and we don't get to see him very much, so it's a little disappointing. Like, the only time in Resident Evil we got it really good was with Ian Glenn. But so if we finally get Jason Statham, and we're not really giving him...
Why are you pronouncing it Statham?
Because I don't know exactly how he does it, if it's Statham.
I would assume it's just Jason Statham.
So you're doing the TH as a th.
Yes.
Yeah, you're probably right. Which leads me to my second point. Who gives a shit?
I do. It's driving me nuts.
Okay.
You just keep saying his name. I let it go the first 36 times.
Okay, Jason Statham.
Ugh. I also want to make a point once again, not enough Mia.
You're really obsessed with having her in these.
I want her in them more.
I like her too, but she hasn't been in them so much in the past that I just got used to not having her in them a lot.
She was in 5 a lot, and I liked her.
Yeah, no. I mean, I hear you, but it didn't bother me because guess who is in it? And it's almost like an extension of the Harry Dean Stanton rule for me.
Oh, who are you gonna bring up?
Kurt Russell.
Oh, okay, let's talk about it.
Love him. I don't give a shit what this guy shows up in. He's just, I love him. I love him. He's great. Doing his Kurt Russell thing.
I love Kurt Russell, too. I'm not sure I like him in the Fast and Furious franchise.
Oh, I think he's a welcome addition.
I don't know that I like this Mr. Nobody.
I like Mr. Nobody also because I was really hoping that he wouldn't take a heel turn because it's pretty sketchy at first.
Yeah.
And he does not.
So what is he, like a super spy, this guy?
Yeah, kind of a super spy.
He's like working for a government organization, I guess. He recruits Diesel and his squad straight from the funeral of Han.
Yeah.
And, I mean... I don't know. Listen,
he needs the God's eye. He needs the God's eye. So,
yeah, right. He's trying to get the God's eye, which is they say like you know how it took us a few years to find Osama bin Laden. If we had the God's eye, it would have only taken a few seconds.
That's right.
Yeah. Which fine, but that's the MacGuffin in this film.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Sort of. I mean, it's used, but yeah.
So, I mean, I don't love Kurt Russell in this role. I like Kurt Russell, probably not as much as you do. But, I mean, to me, he's Snake Plissken. I don't necessarily need to see Kurt Russell outside of John Carpenter films.
Oh! Then you wouldn't see him that much at all.
I know.
Jeez.
I'm okay with it.
Nah, I grew up with Kurt Russell kind of being one of my heroes. He's him, and especially in Big Trouble in Little China. I always just thought he was like the epitome of fucking hilarious and cool, and I always dug him.
What's he good in? Not directed by James Cameron.
You mean John Carpenter?
That's it? Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus.
He's great in everything not directed by James Cameron.
Yeah. All right,
John Carpenter. I don't know. What do you want me to look him up?
No, I don't. But, like, you seem to be a big fan.
I know, but...
What, do you love Breakdown?
I don't even know what that is.
That's a movie I saw him in, I think.
He's made a lot of junk, but it doesn't matter. He's just got such a cool presence. I'm looking him up. Fuck it.
He doesn't do a lot for me, man. I didn't really care for him in the Guardians of the Galaxy either.
Oh, I loved him in that. I loved him in Tombstone. He's fucking great. I liked him in the Ron Howard B movie, Backdraft. Guilty pleasure.
Yeah, it's okay.
Guilty pleasure. I loved him in Vanilla Sky.
I don't even remember him in that. Is he a therapist?
Yes.
Okay,
and he's amazing as the racist cop in Dark Blue.
You big Captain Ron guy? You like Tango and Cash a lot?
Well, Tango and Cash, I mean, I actually haven't seen Tango and Cash in about 30 years. So he's great in Death Proof.
Yeah, I like him in Death Proof.
Hateful Eight.
Yeah. I mean, I love Hateful Eight. All right, so maybe I only like him in John Carpenter and Quentin Tarantino films.
Yeah, like I said, I'm looking at his filmography. It is not a great filmography, but the ones he's in, he's just really, really good, and I like him a lot. I think he's great.
All right, Russ.
Anywho,
Mr. Nobody. He does fund our squad.
Yes.
So now we can do even crazier stunts. Henry.
Oh, we're just off the walls in this one. Just even more than I didn't think was possible. And it's just, yeah.
There was one sequence. I mean, there was like one section of the movie where that was so amazing. I thought I might be ranking this number one in the Fast and Furious.
Would that be the airplane sequence?
That's the first part of it. So they're in cars in an airplane. All right? This is the same squad of dudes that were just street thugs a few movies ago.
We have come a long way.
Yeah. So they drive the cars out of an airplane. They're just falling through the sky in a free fall. Then parachutes come out of their cars. They gently drop down onto the road. And then they get into this big road chase where they have to rescue this hacker girl named Ramsey.
Yeah.
Who's family now.
Obviously.
Yeah. And
big surprise, Ramsey's a woman.
But yeah, I think you have to have more women in these fucking movies.
No, that was fine.
We've killed off Giselle. We're retiring Mia. It's just Letty,
and she's got amnesia. So
yeah, it's true.
She's Hawkeyeing it through the whole thing. Yeah.
So we've got Ramsey, this new character, and she's one of these movie hackers that's like unbelievably beautiful and like.
Right.
Yeah.
She's a Game of Throneser.
Is she?
The only thing I knew her from.
I didn't know that.
I looked it up, and then it made sense. I was like, oh, yeah, she's the sidekick to Emilia Clarke.
That happens every time I'm watching something now, and I look up a British person that I'm not familiar with. They've been on like 20 episodes of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they're all in it.
Yeah. It happened with Inhumans last night. Who's this fellow playing Maximus? Some Game of Thrones guy.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Tyrese is now full-on clown.
Oh, he's comic relief to the extreme. He's just
the fucking clown.
But I'm fine with it. He's pretty funny.
He's very funny.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was fine with it. I guess he was. He's a funny guy. Yeah.
He does the job.
He does.
And yeah, so he's afraid to drive the car out of the plane, and Ludacris sets off his. I like his little comedy team he has now with Ludacris.
Yeah, I made a note actually that Ludacris is having a little more fun in this movie than he was before. I that needed to happen. I was getting a little sick of serious Ludacris.
Well, now we also have a love triangle with Ramsey, Tej, and Roman.
Right.
Which I enjoy.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So there's this big sequence, this big driving action sequence where, Ramsey has to like jump into Diesel's car. Brian ends up in a truck having a fist fight with a guy.
Yeah.
But then the truck drives like halfway off a cliff. Motherfucker, this was the best. Brian jumps out of the truck as it's falling off the cliff, runs up the roof of the truck, and manages to save himself.
It's well done.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's
Good
at
job.
this point I wrote the note, greatest movie of all time? ?
Oh, Lord. Yeah. And they're being pursued by Djimon Hounsou.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
I don't know, but he's our new actor in this movie. And it's because they seem to already know that eventually, like, we're going to make Deckard Shaw likable. So we need, like, a pure villain.
Oh, that's interesting.
So we get Djimon Hounsou, probably best remembered from Amistad, no?
I think you're right. He's been in a lot of movies, but
he's a very fine actor.
He is a very good actor. That was his big one. He was also in that great movie Blood Diamond.
I knew I was going to bring up Blood Diamond because he's actually the only part of that movie I liked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I always remember him, of course, as the guy who gets axed in the head as an elevator door opens in the classic Treat Williams monster movie Deep Rising.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think. I've seen Deep Rising.
Have you?
Yeah.
Deep Rising, one of the most underrated films of all time.
Okay. Treat Williams.
I love Treat Williams.
Do you like him more than Kurt Russell?
Yes.
He's a poor man's Kurt Russell.
Oh!
He even kind of looks like Kurt Russell.
He does look like Kurt. Yeah, they have a similar vibe. You're right.
Yeah. No, he's fine, but he's
Treat's great, man. He was great in Once Upon a Time in America. He's great in Everwood. Love him. Deep Rising.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Treat. And his name's Treat. He is always a treat when he shows up.
Oh, yeah. So that's a pretty incredible scene, and that's the last time I was on board.
Get out of here. We're not in Abu Dhabi yet. Or Azerbaijan? Yeah. Is it the same? What's happening there?
The scene that we just described was in Azerbaijan.
Okay, so then we go to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're in Abu Dhabi. And we go to that building that's like the tallest building in the world or whatever.
Right.
And they have to break in there as spies. Roman is acting as comic relief distraction.
Right. Well, that works. That was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. And in the background of that scene, behind the DJ booth, is I can't remember. It's like a famous DJ.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Fuck.
You would know that.
I screwed the pooch on this one, man.
The last time that happened was in, Iron Man 3, and you called that DJ out.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was like Kid Rock's DJ or something.
Right.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm trying to find them here. You want to talk about how Ronda Rousey's in this movie?
I was just going to say, Ronda Rousey's in the
T-Pain, by the way. T-Pain.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so a major.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Ronda Rousey, very strange choice. I guess they were trying to continue sort of the Gina Carano vibe, but then she's gone. Like, it was very weird. I thought she'd kind of be a major part of the villain squad, and she's really not. She's got the one fight.
This was a test run, I believe. They wanted to make Ronda Rousey a movie star.
Yeah.
Honestly, that last fight she had hurt her chances.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember she got her ass kicked recently?
Fuck would I know that, man.
No, it was incredible. She, got her ass kicked. It was fucked up to watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember her hosting Saturday Night Live, and it wasn't very good.
No, but she was like a big deal for a second. They wanted her to be a movie star. And so this was like her first big movie. She also is, I think, a love interest in the Entourage movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She honestly doesn't make much of an impression.
No, she doesn't, and it's a bummer. I think she's a pretty lady and very physically imposing, but that's about it. I kind of preferred Gina Carano.
Oh, I way preferred her.
Yeah.
Plus, she got a way better fight scene.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So they jump.
Wait, we're not there. Brian.
I was setting it up.
Yeah, Brian and Diesel. They have to steal a car.
Well, they got to steal a chip that's in a car.
Right.
They have no intention of taking the car.
True. Good point.
They should have just taken the car, of course. But yeah,
they're stealing a chip that's in a car, the God's Eye.
Yeah.
And Diesel lifts this car. I wanted to point that out. He just picks it up.
Yeah.
It's a car.
It's not that hard. I've done it.
Have you?
Yeah. My Hyundai one time, I needed to lift it up, change a tire, and
Yeah.
One-handed it.
Good for you. Jeez.
Well, you know, I have shoulder strength. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel like you're pulling your back out all the time.
I am pulling my back out all the time. It's true. My shoulders are good.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've never lifted a car.
Oh, I believed you for a second.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Pretty hard. But
So
if you're Vin Diesel, I guess you can do anything. So
he's very strong.
yeah.
Yeah. Diesel's like, why is my part big enough in Furious 7? And they're like, it's okay, we'll have you lift a car. And he's like, all right, cool. So he takes the car, they get in, and I mean, this is the set piece of the film.
Yeah, they can't get the chip out, so they say, fuck it, let's just take the car, let's drive it out of the 300th story of a building.
Uh-huh. So they drive it out of a building. They manage to get into the next building that's like, a few floors
Quite
down.
far away.
Yeah. And they slide in there, and then they drive through that building into the next building. It is bonkers and wonderful.
Yeah, it is. All right. Yeah. There's so many action sequences that I keep thinking like, oh yeah, I was done. Okay, now I'm done. After that, I was done.
No, man.
I'm
After
done.
that, you were done?
I'm pretty sure I was done.
No,
Unless you
man.
bring up something else.
Well, hear me out.
Yeah.
Because now we're in LA, and we've got the God's Eye. Jaimon Hansu is driving around in a helicopter.
Yeah.
And he's got a drone chasing them.
Yeah, this whole thing lost me. This entire I wrote it down.
Hear me out.
Okay.
What about when we cut back to The Rock in his hospital room?
Yeah, that's great.
And he says to his daughter,
Yeah.
Daddy's got to go to work. And then he has a cast on.
Uh-huh.
He flexes the muscles in his arms.
Barely.
And the cast just cracks off of him.
No broken arm here.
It's fucking amazing. He runs
I'd
outside.
I'd like to point out that they did say when he was admitted to the hospital that he had a broken collarbone. No such cast for that is seen or any sort of brace. I like that oversight. That was pretty good.
Doesn't matter.
Very painful, broken collarbone.
I know.
Doesn't have one.
When I was in elementary school, my friend Justin Mangles broke his collarbone, and he wasn't allowed to do recess. And I didn't like recess because there were bullies.
Right.
And so I hung out with Justin Mangles in the nurse's office every day during recess for like 2 months.
That's the saddest story I've ever heard. He mangled his collarbone, huh?
Yep.
Oh,
Shout out to Justin Mangles.
Wow. So he gets out the hospital and he's just running amok.
Yeah, he steals an ambulance from the hospital, drives it into the heart of the fight, and then we just see him like in a hospital gown shooting up at fucking a helicopter with this massive fucking gun.
It's Jesse the Ventura's gun from Predator.
Yeah, he looks like Cable from like the early 90s X-Men comics.
It's old Painless there he's got in his hands.
Yeah. And he takes out the drone using the ambulance. And then we think Diesel's presumed dead.
Yeah, of course.
But he's not, okay? Letty remembers their wedding, starts describing it to Diesel's presumed corpse, and Diesel wakes up and says, "About time."
Yeah. Yeah, and you forgot about how he incapacitates Jason Statham.
Mm-hmm.
Remember they're on a parking garage and it cracks and with a stomp of his foot.
Oh, that's right.
Hulk smash, and that entire parking garage collapses.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I was out.
Quite literally.
I was out.
No, I was still in.
Too long. At that point, it was a length thing for me.
It is long.
Holy shit. I mean, the final 40 minutes, I wrote it down. I mean, it's just... Because it starts to just be total, almost Michael Bay carnage. And it's just...
I think that's where we're missing Justin Lin.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say that I was going to blame Chris Morgan for writing it, but I think that if Justin Lin would have directed it, it would have felt faster and more furiouser, and it would have been better directed. I think the direction's a problem sometimes in this movie.
I think it's a bigger problem in 8, I'll be honest with you.
Interesting. I know what you mean, I think. We'll get there, but I was much more disappointed in 7's direction.
I think 7, a lot of times, is saying, hey, guys, look how crazy this movie is. Whereas Justin Lin does all the same crazy things, but he directs the movie very sincerely.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. This is a fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was still pretty okay with it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I still liked the movie, but yeah.
End of the movie.
Oh, wrench fight. Sorry.
What? What's wrench fight?
Gotta get my note there. That's an important note. Statham and Vin have a wrench fight. They have before their garage, during their garage fight, before he collapses it. They both grab gigantic 3-foot, 5-foot socket wrenches as almost like nunchucks, and they just go at it with wrenches.
Yeah.
And they're fighting like martial arts style.
It's
fucking
incredible.
monkey wrench. Yeah.
Yeah.
And at one point I wrote down, during the fight, a choir kicks in on the musical cue.
I noticed that too. Yeah, it's like fucking Duel of the Fates all of a sudden.
Yeah. So, wrapping up.
We're at the beach.
We're at the beach.
Walker, or probably one of Paul Walker's brothers.
Yeah.
Because we used Paul Walker's brothers as body doubles in this movie. He's playing in the distance with a visibly pregnant Mia and their existing kid. And they're going to retire. And Dom gets up to leave. Someone says, aren't you going to say goodbye? Dom says, it's never going to bye. It's what does he say? It's never goodbye.
It's never goodbye. Yeah.
Then he takes off in his cock rocket and See You Again starts playing on the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's driving and he's monologuing in voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Brian. He catches up next to him in the car. And they're driving next to each other, side by side, smiling at each other. Two brothers.
And that's when the CGI kicks in hard.
Oh yeah, big time. But that, it's but people in the audience, everyone in the audience knows Paul Walker's dead. They know what they're doing here.
That's right. I agree. That's why it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a confluence of fate and the timing, and everyone when it came out knew, and the CGI it doesn't really matter. It's moving.
Yeah.
It was sad.
Yeah.
And that's when I got choked up.
Sure.
And you know that when the whole cast is reflecting on it at the end on the beach, you know what they're really talking about, and that made it worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very sad. It's very moving.
So Dom and Brian driving next to each other, and then we get an overhead shot. They reach a fork in the road.
Yeah.
And the two cars diverge.
Just like Robert Frost.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. I thought they might do one last race, but this was better.
Yeah.
Better choice.
This was really lovely.
Very poignant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think that I would care, and at the beginning of our coverage of this entire series, I didn't think I would give two shits, but it works. And it's sad, and it's they get what they're going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got me.
Yeah. Boy, that's depressing. Here we go.
God, and you know what? I didn't give a shit when Paul Walker died. Like, I never cared about Paul Walker as an actor. I'd only seen the first one of these movies and didn't really care for it. And I just thought he was like a handsome dude. I'd seen him as like a football player in Varsity Blues and like a dickhead frat guy in The Skulls. Like, that's what he seemed like to me. He was like the popular guy and She's All That. And
right.
And now these movies made me care about Paul Walker. I'm like unnecessarily, like belatedly sad about this man's death.
Yeah, exactly. Felt the same way. It's weird. Because that was like during a rash of surprising celebrity deaths, right? I mean, that was like around the time of like Philip Seymour Hoffman and Robin Williams and that type of thing.
Might have been, but this was like a big deal. Like I read the Hollywood Reporter and the trades and shit, and like It was a huge deal because Furious 7 was a gigantic movie that had to stop its production because this man died. And I thought it was kind of amusing, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And I don't find it amusing anymore. It's horrible.
Yeah, it is horrible. I agree. It was very sad. And yeah, I mean, now would it make you go back and check out any other movies he's been in?
I mean, if someone told me there's a really good Paul Walker performance in something, but I just listed the movies I've seen him in. I feel like I've seen all of Paul Walker's biggest roles. But he just, I mean, I think his crowning achievement is Brian O'Connor.
Well, it has to be.
Yeah.
I think that goes without saying. But I mean, I think we talked about it already, but I know him from different things than you do. So he's done enough. Like, I know him from Pleasantville and Joyride.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen those too.
Yeah, he was in Flags of Our Fathers. I hated that movie, and I don't remember him in it. Mm-hmm. He was in a low-budget horror movie called The Lazarus Project, which I think I watched half of on Netflix a few years ago.
I'll tell you what, Henry. If we're ever really jonesing to do another Paul Walker tribute, we can do Into the Blue.
Okay.
There's only 2 of those.
Okay. All right. What is that, a surfing movie or something?
I think so. I think it's a diving movie, maybe.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah.
That's a seaplane flying on a stormy night malfunctions and crashes in the sea. Oh, okay. So it's like you like that. It looks like a stranded person movie.
No, that sounds great.
All right. Yeah.
We could also do The Skulls. There's a lot of those straight to DVDs.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'll probably ever be jonesing to cover him again, but I see your point. Yeah.
But God bless you, Paul Walker.
Godspeed your family.
Yeah, you are. You're a franchise family, Paul Walker.
You are part of our family, that's for sure.
I love him. Okay, what do you give Furious 7?
I'm giving it 3.
I'm giving it 4.
Wow. Okay. Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 3. Because there's enough good stuff in it to warrant a 3, but too much, too long, and a little too much cartoonish stuff for a 4. My MVP is going to be Kurt Russell.
Okay.
I loved every scene he was in. I thought he was funny. I loved the beer tasting scene. I thought that was great. I think he's great. My LVP is going to be James Wan.
This is unprecedented, Henry. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
My MVP is James Wan, and it's because this had to be such an impossible movie to make.
True.
And I think he came out with something pretty entertaining and pretty moving.
Okay, that's totally fair. Now I will.
And my LVP is Kurt Russell.
I don't know if that might have happened before. What, is this the first time you think we've had the exact opposites?
I don't remember this ever happening.
I don't know.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Tweet at me or email us at thefranchisepod@gmail.com.
Yeah. And I gotta say, when I did write down James Wan, I didn't do it out of like anger. It was just I was trying to find somebody, and the parts of the movie that I had problems with really were in the direction. So if I got to pick somebody, it was either kind of going to be him or nobody, and not Mr. Nobody.
See, for me, it's Mr. Nobody.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, but okay, that's fine.
All right.
I have a superhero count.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 3. Jaimin Hunsu. You got to count this, I guess. It was a comic book, or based on one. Was in Constantine.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He played Papa Midnight.
Yeah, a major character.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He played Black Panther in the motion comic animated series from 2010.
Okay.
And in a recurring thing, which will happen again, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy, playing Korath.
Sure. Yeah, he's got a big superhero resume.
Yeah. Kurt Russell was in Guardians of the Galaxy too.
As Ego the Living Planet.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess this character Shepard was some fucking FBI agent or somebody. He's kind of a nobody in the movie, but he was also an actor named John Brotherton. He was also in Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, playing a Star Blaster pilot.
Oh, fine. So what, is that one of those Nova Corps fellas? Or,
yes,
okay.
yes. So my three superheroes were all in Guardians of the Galaxy. That I don't think has happened yet.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Sean Gunn, a big Furious fan?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right.
2 years later, it's 2017. And we've got to put out another one of these babies.
We have to.
Yeah. It's The Fate of the Furious. Possibly the best title of any of these.
It's a good title.
I love it.
It's a very good title.
We've got a new director, Henry.
Yeah.
F. Gary Gray.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with F. Gary Gray? Have you seen many of his movies?
I'm looking at him now, and he hasn't made as many movies as I actually thought he did. But want me to run him off right now?
Well,
you say if you've seen him or not.
I'll say he got his start doing music videos. His big breakthroughs were Fantastic Voyage by Coolio, and
I remember that video.
Yeah, it's a great video, and TLC's Waterfalls.
Oh yes.
But then his even bigger break was Murder Was the Case, which was Snoop Dogg's like feature-length music video. It was, right. I think it was like 45 minutes long or something. They used to air it on MTV like they would air like Thriller or something.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal. So that got him the job on Friday.
Okay.
That's his first film. Ice Cube and Chris Tucker, and I
never saw it.
I have seen that movie. I like that movie a lot.
I never saw that. I never saw his next movie, Set It Off. I never saw that.
I've seen that too. Set It Off, obviously, immortalized in my favorite Drake lyric of all time, where he rhymes something, like he says, I'm into it or something, and he goes, I'm about to set it off, Jada Pinkett.
I didn't even know Drake was around in 1996.
He wasn't. This is like way after the fact he's referencing that movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say he was like 10.
No.
Okay.
So Set It Off's not very good. It's okay.
Then he did a movie I did see, which would have been The Negotiator. Kevin Spacey.
Not a fan.
Not a good movie.
Mm-mm.
Then he did a movie I've never heard of. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's a television pilot. Forget it. He did a movie I saw in the theater, which was horrible. The Italian Job.
Yeah, I don't think that movie's horrible.
My favorite fact about The Italian Job is that Edward Norton publicly stated that the only reason he did the role was because he was obligated to, because he was under contract with the studio.
Ed Norton's an asshole. Is Edward Norton the male Katherine Heigl?
I don't know,
Just
man.
a fucking dick.
I don't know. He's not. You
listen to him.
You listen to him on DVD commentaries. He's hilarious.
I've heard him on DVD commentaries, but what about not
he's-
coming back to the Hulk for like creative
No.
differences?
I agree. He's probably very difficult to work with. That's what I would say. So he probably, yeah. But I don't think he's like an asshole in real life. He's probably just one of these guys who wants to do what he wants to do.
He's not an asshole. I had lunch with Edward Norton.
That's right.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
But like, is he so hard to work with that it's like, get it together, you're a piece of shit?
Yeah, I don't know. What, tell real quick that that's a good anecdote. Tell when you met Edward Norton.
Oh, I mean, it's not much of a story.
But our fans would like to hear that stuff.
I was covering Down in the Valley.
Great movie.
Yeah, and so I was writing an article about that movie, and I got to go to Ed Norton's hotel room and have lunch with him.
Yes. And?
Oh, when I insulted him?
Yes. What do you think? Only you would fucking say this to Edward Norton.
He liked it though. I didn't insult him. He unlike Brett Ratner, who is an asshole.
Right.
Ed Norton found this funny.
Well, see, that's what also leads me to believe that Edward Norton's a cool guy.
Right.
Because if he was as you are describing him, he would have not found that funny. So go ahead.
He was dating Salma Hayek at the time.
Right.
And so we were talking about that a little bit, and I asked him about the experience of writing Frida. And he told me about that, and then I asked him if he ever considered directing. Mm-hmm. And he told me, I've already directed. I made this movie called Keeping the Faith. And I said, I know, I've seen Keeping the Faith. I meant like a real movie.
Jesus, what balls.
Yeah. Well, we had a rapport.
Yeah, I mean, and I actually thought Keeping the Faith was funny.
It's horrible, and it's too long.
I thought it was funny.
So, back to F. Gary Gray.
Yeah, I can safely say I didn't see Straight Outta Compton.
Okay, well, we're not there. Well, F. Gary Gray, I mean, just real quick.
Yeah.
He did A Man Apart with Vin Diesel.
Didn't see it.
I saw that. That's one of those I'm working at Blockbuster, I'll see everything movies.
Sure.
He did Be Cool, the sequel to Get Shorty, which is really bad. And then he did Law Abiding Citizen, which kind of killed his career for a while. He didn't do anything for years.
I think I saw that. Is that Jerry Butler?
Yeah, Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx.
Boy. Okay.
So he revives his career in 2015 with Straight Outta Compton, the NWA biopic, which I saw, and it's a half hour too long. If you watch Straight Outta Compton and then go listen to every song NWA ever recorded, Straight Outta Compton is longer. I'm not joking. That's a fact. But it's
Gangsta.
But it's a pretty good movie, Straight Outta Compton.
I should have seen that because when I was a kid, I loved NWA.
Yeah, that's worth watching. And that fucking kid, Ice Cube's son, who plays Ice Cube in that movie.
Yeah, he's good.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say, in my limited F. Gary Gray cinematic experiences, I have not liked a single movie he's done.
Well, I like Friday and fucking Straight Outta Compton, but to me, F. Gary Gray is much more of a for hire guy.
It seems like
I don't see him having much of a feel to his movies. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
I think he used to. Like his videos have a certain feel to them. Like Fantastic Voyage and Miss Jackson by Outkast. Like you can pick out that they're from the same director. But and he brought that energy to like Friday and set it off a little bit. But I think like The Negotiator on, his films are pretty generic looking.
Well, unlike a music video director like David Fincher, F. Gary Gray didn't really go on to have any kind of style or vision, I would say, right?
No, but he went on to have plenty of success.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, Fate of the Furious is a big swing for him. Like he got it basically on the heels of Straight Outta Compton being like a big surprise hit.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that came out earlier this year, April. They're into these April release dates. April 14th, 2007, on my mom's. No, never mind. I was going to say on my mom's birthday, the day after my mom's birthday.
Okay.
Did I say 2007 also?
No, you said 17.
Okay, good.
I don't know. I'm not listening. I think so.
Whatever. It's this year. A budget, Henry. An astronomical budget of $250 million.
The budget on this film is, if another big non-franchise film is lucky, the budget on this film would equal that film's box office.
And we don't need it. Honestly, I think that's maybe increasing the crazy factor of these movies too. Like,
oh yes,
keep the budget down to like $150 million.
I know, man. Jesus. Yeah. Off the rails. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
don't even have to pay Paul Walker anymore. He's dead.
You don't have to pay Paul Walker. But you know what they're doing too with this budget? They're fucking globe hopping everywhere too.
Yeah. We love that now.
So that's a big thing. I mean, that probably cost more than any of the special effects.
To clear the streets of New York for all these action sequences?
Of course. Yeah. We need to go to Cuba. We need to go everywhere.
By the way, though, budget of $250 million, Henry.
Yeah.
What's your line?
Say that again?
Budget of $250 million.
Yes.
What do you say every Fast and Furious movie?
Didn't matter.
Thank you. Box office of $1.24 billion.
Sorry, you were breaking up a little bit there.
Oh. Okay, so, I mean, we start right off crazy. We're in Cuba. Dom is hanging out with his cousin or something. I don't know what the fuck we're doing here.
I don't either, man. I was lost from the start.
But, it's fine. We got Chris Morgan back to write, so the characters still sound like the characters. And Dom races this guy in Cuba and wins the race in a car that's on fire, driving backwards.
It's not really even a car. It's like half of an engine with NOS tanks.
Yeah.
And some wheels. I mean, it almost looks like it was built in fucking bedrock. He might as well have his feet moving it. I'm surprised they didn't just go for that, because at this point, Vin Diesel could have probably Flintstoned it, right? He could have just...
and won.
And won.
All he needs to do is stomp on the ground, and it'll separate and swallow this guy whole.
Yabba do.
But he doesn't need to do that. He wins the race, and because he's our Diesel, he's our Dom, he doesn't even take the guy's car off him.
Nope. He taught him a lesson.
That's what he does.
In what? I'm not sure. Because this Cuban... Yeah, right. This Cuban guy is like a real asshole, but I guess not like a murderer. All he's doing is he's repossessing this kid's car because the kid didn't make his payments. I gotta say, not to be kind of a Larry David here, but kid kind of deserves it, right? Took the loan out, didn't pay, he's getting his car towed.
Yeah, teach him a lesson. He's your flesh and blood.
Yeah, I mean, Dom should have said, sorry, kid. Family's got to learn lessons.
But Dom gives the kid his own sweet car and says, that was too slow anyway. You got to drive the car of a Toretto.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Cut to The Rock. He's teaching he's the coach of his daughter's soccer team.
Yeah.
He teaches them to do a Samoan war march at the beginning of the soccer game.
It's a little long. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. But it's a cute sequence. I like all the soccer moms mooning over him. What?
I lost you, man. Sorry.
The soccer moms, they're mooning over him. So a fella shows up to try and get The Rock back to work, but he's not ready to go. He's gonna, teach these girls. And, it's The Rock doing some fun light comedy here.
Yeah, that's true. It's very funny.
He says something about Tay-Tay, and the guy doesn't know what he's talking about, and The Rock, in his perfect Rock way, says, Tay-Tay, Taylor Swift, you've got to be shitting me. Get it together.
That was very good.
That made me laugh out loud.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
So Hobbs and Dom's gang go off to do a mission or whatever the fuck, and Dom goes rogue.
Yeah, he's encountered by a heavily dreadlocked Charlize Theron.
Hey, listen, she looks like Angelina Jolie in Gone in 60 Seconds. I think what happens is when we get a beautiful Oscar-winning actress in a movie about cars, we need to pop her some dreads.
I think that you're right.
Yeah.
Yes. A beautiful white actress. Put her in dreads.
Yeah. So she's a hacker named Cypher, another beautiful, gorgeous hacker in these movies.
Yeah, I got to meet some hackers. Jesus.
Yeah, they're the best-looking people.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They all look like South African models.
Yeah.
So she shows Diesel something that shakes Diesel to his very core. And
yes.
He's got and so he abandons his team and joins Cypher's squad. And we don't know why. But it turns out that Diesel impregnated Elena prior to getting back together with Letty.
Yeah.
And the kid's still a baby for some reason. Have these movies, do they take place only months apart?
I think so.
Okay.
Because they never, besides Tokyo Drift, we're not ever really given in any of these movies any sort of discernible timeline. So it has to be the case.
It's a good point.
Yeah. And I will say right off the bat, the movie, I guess, wouldn't exist without this plot point, but with a simple, quick explanation on the sly, Dom could have cleared this all up to his team. He could have just said, an email or something, or that would have been hacked. Maybe a letter.
Or just like there's one part when they're in New York when like he and Letty are looking at each other through their car windows. Like he could have just given her a look like, I'm on the sly here.
Right.
I'm undercover.
Look, guys, look. She has my ex-girlfriend hostage and the kid I didn't know about, all right? Just roll with it. But no, he's silent. Then they give him they blow everybody up in a concussive grenade sequence.
Yeah.
Including Clint Eastwood's son.
Yeah, Scott Eastwood.
I like him.
I think
he's all right.
He's horrible.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was kind of funny in a very thankless role. I thought he was kind of funny.
He's a terrible actor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing I liked Tyrese giving him some shit, but
yeah, I thought it was funny.
But he's not good. He's my LVP.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I have a very clear LVP on mine. It's not that.
Okay. Roman especially funny in this movie. I think this is Tyrese's best outing, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
His whole thing about how they're all on the top 10 most wanted list at Interpol, and Roman is 11th most wanted, I thought was so great.
It was funny. I mean, it was borderline almost enough already with the humiliation, but he makes it funny.
Yeah.
A lesser actor, I think you would just be like, oh my God, stop picking on this guy. But he's very funny. So that was very, very funny. Yeah.
Yeah. What else we got? Meanwhile, Hobbs and Deckard are in jail next to each other.
Oh, that whole prison sequence is great.
That's the best part of the movie.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah, The Rock and Statham sniping in their prison cell together. And then the prison break sequence is so great.
Yeah.
Just it was something different. It's
Yes.
like, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And any time there's a prison break, it's always fun. I mean, one of the best parts of the Daredevil season 2 was the Punisher and that whole prison riot. You know, it's always a good time.
Yeah, it's true. Prison breaks
riots
can be fun.
Need more prison riots in movies. More of them.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's true.
Put them in.
There's a good Buffy episode with it's like a demon prison, and there's a prison break.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Anytime there's a movie where you see that like red light go on and all the gates open.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, it's like cha-ching, and everyone's free. You're like, uh-oh.
And there's always one guy trying to be the good guy. Like,
yeah.
Hey, I had nothing to do with this. I'm staying right here.
That's right. Or the weakling who is not happy about this and wants to just stays in his cell.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So that's an amazing sequence. And what else you got? I mean, the whole movie is Charlize Theron, weirdly.
It is. I did make a note. My first note was we have not forgotten, nor should we, about the effect of Nos, but we do get a line from Vin Diesel in the beginning saying, "This is Cuban Nos."
Yeah, I know.
It's like
there's a lot about that Cuba sequence that's weird.
The whole sequence is strange. It's
they also keep saying like that guy he's racing, he's got the fastest car on the island, and it's like, where the fuck are we, Oahu? It's Cuba.
Well, Cuba's an island.
I know, but it's a country.
Yeah, it is. It's true. It's a very large country.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't say that like on Long Island.
Right. How does he know it's the fastest on the island? He doesn't know that.
I don't know. It's
talking
ridiculous.
Talking in hyperboles. How dare they in this franchise?
Yeah, that's true.
And hyperboles. It's the greatest. It's the fastest car on the. Oh, forget it.
Yeah. Charlize Theron, she's a real trooper. She's an Academy Award winner. She shows up in the Fast and Furious franchise. She has to kiss Vin Diesel at one point.
Yeah.
Oh, you sound real down.
I wasn't buying. I didn't like her.
I didn't like her either. I'll tell you what. I wasn't a fan of this villain. Because it's Charlize Theron, we have to give her a lot of screen time, and it's too much screen time. Screen time better used on our family.
Yeah.
And it's also like they try to big up her by making her part of the past. I'll say Furious 7 did a pretty good job of just making Deckard, Owen's brother. So it's basically a Die Hard with a Vengeance situation.
Yes. That's right. And this one is just too convoluted. It's like, so fucking Cypher was behind hiring
Owen
Jaimin
Shaw
Hansu.
and also Jaimin Hansu. Yeah.
My God. I mean, come on now. And
it's
then
crazy.
She double-crossed Jason Statham, which we don't realize because it seems like Jaimin Hansu really double-crossed him by firing that rocket at him. And, I mean, what are we doing? Just make a separate villain. Not everything has to be interconnected all the time.
But that's what we're doing with these movies.
Oh,
it's
Lord.
It's pretty convoluted. And, I wasn't all that into it.
I agree. And I do like Charlize Theron as a villain. I thought she was excellent as the icy cold villain in Prometheus. And I even saw that crap. I don't know why I saw this, but it must have been a slow day at the library. And before I had Netflix, I saw that Huntsman movie.
You did?
The first one, yeah.
Snow White and the Huntsman?
Yeah, it's garbage.
That's that movie where Kristen Stewart boned the director.
That's right. And Charlize Theron is the bad guy in that, I think. And I thought she was all right in that. So I like her when she can do villain. But
she can do a lot. She's a really good actor. But,
yes, she is.
But yeah, I'm not sure I'm liking her in this. And she escapes at the end of the movie, so presumably she'll be back in the next one.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah. Okay, so Charlize, she's cold-blooded. She kills Elena. So now that makes Dom a single dad.
Or, more importantly, another Game of Thrones actor kills Elena.
Oh, that fiery redhead beard guy?
Yep.
Okay. I thought he was okay, actually.
Yeah, he is. He's good. He's
Yeah.
a cool actor. Yeah.
Um,
He's a good henchman. He, we've talked before about how some of these henchmen are just totally lacking in any kind of
oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
presence.
There's so many henchmen in the Fast and Furious movies. At least make them visually memorable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this guy sure is that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we end up in New York. Speaking of Die Hard with a Vengeance, and Charlize has control of all the cars in New York or something. She's driving them out of windows. It's pretty nuts. It's raining cars on the street. You got Vin Diesel jumping around, dressed like fucking Jason X.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was. We're getting into way different territory. I mean, the thought I really had in this movie more than any of the other ones was we are so fucking far from what we started with. Like it's different universes, really.
But they did that with Fast 5 and Fast 6, and I think now we're even a little bit far away from those.
Well, we are, because Fast 5 and Fast 6 were still like heist movies.
Yeah.
And as ridiculous as they were, we weren't getting. I mean, we're in like fucking James Bond, Roland Emmerich,
and it's because of Kurt Russell. Get him out of there.
Oh, stop it! We're in Pierce Brosnan, James Bond territory.
We really are. There's a long sequence on a sheet of ice at the end of the movie, and I was thinking of Die Another Day.
So was I, and I was just thinking of how that franchise just got too fucking ridiculous, and then they came right back down to earth with Casino Royale. It'd be nice if 9 sort of took a similar approach, but
I would love to see that. I want to see some long Dom playing poker sequences. I'd love it.
Let's get Martin Campbell in to direct it.
By the way, not a bad idea.
Ground it a little bit.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Get a 70-year-old British guy to do it.
Have we announced the director for Fast 9 yet?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm looking it up. Fast and Furious 9. It looks like no director yet.
Yeah, you looking at Hollywood Reporter?
I'm just looking at IMDb. It says Vin Diesel, Lucas Black, and Tyrese are signed on, but we don't know. We don't know anything about it.
Yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't say. They have dates for them. It says 2019, April, and 2021 for 10.
Okay, great. I'm fine with that. I'll see them both. But, hopefully we can rein it in a tiny bit.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah. All right, so fucking... Where are we?
We get a nuclear submarine, basically.
Yeah, these fucking street toughs that we've been following for these movies are now going to save the world from nuclear annihilation.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, there was still some fun stuff at the end there. I liked Ludacris dragging Roman on that car door across the ice.
Yeah, that was funny.
And then Roman uses the car as a shield and kills those 4 snowmobilers.
Yeah.
Remember that? Roman's awesome.
Yeah. He is. Roman is a great character.
I've become a big Tyrese fan.
I have, too.
Yeah.
I barely knew who the fuck he was when we started this show and this run.
Yeah, I had to sing you one of his classic songs.
Yeah, and now I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say Statham is again great in this movie.
He's fucking awesome.
I liked him at the end there, saving the baby and sort of like it's a big fight sequence with the baby listening to the Chipmunks and
yeah, a little bit much on that cutesy stuff, but Statham's funny. He does it. He pulls it off.
He finds his brother all scarred up, and he escapes. So there's one point in the movie we think Jason Statham's dead.
Right.
But we then flash back later in the movie. Chris Morgan loves that shit. And he escaped with the help of those 2 random Spanish guys from from 5. They're back for a second, and his mom.
Yes, Helen Mirren,
the great Helen Mirren,
the Queen.
Yeah, she's in this movie.
Oh yeah, throw her in.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah. Love Helen Mirren though, I do.
Yeah, me too.
Is that cliche? Does it say that? Does everybody say that when they see Helen Mirren?
Yes, but it's only because she's great. Of course you love Helen Mirren.
Yeah, but I knew Helen Mirren. I know her from back when I was a teenager, and I watched one of my favorite movies, Oh Lucky Man.
Yeah.
And she was very young in that.
Yeah, so you were jerking it to Helen Mirren.
I was in love with her.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. I never saw Caligula. Did you ever see that?
No, me neither.
We got to see that.
Yeah, I agree.
Or maybe we don't. I don't know. Probably do.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, no, I would too. Anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, everyone escapes. Everyone comes out fine. And at the end of the movie, we get that great rooftop sequence with the whole family, including Jason Statham. And Dom introduces his new son to Letty, and Letty's like, "That sounds cool to me. I'll be the kid's mom." And
right. No problem at all.
No problems. No problems at all. The Rock is there with his daughter. We didn't talk about The Rock, but he's again great in this movie.
Yes.
And
so is Kurt Russell.
Who,
by the way, is part of the family now.
Yeah, Russell's part of the family for sure. So is The Rock's daughter.
Scott Eastwood's part of the family too.
Get out of here with him.
Yeah, he's part of the family. His family is getting bigger and bigger, and not once by procreation. Or once by it, I guess.
Well, once by it, for sure.
Once.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just added on family.
I love that bit where Ramsey and Tej, and Roman are going after Ramsey again, because she's in this movie.
That's right.
And they're hitting on her, and she goes, "All right. Do either of you know my last name?" And they don't. It's great. Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah. That's the end of the movie. And then, of course, Dom holds up his son, and he announces that he's naming his son Brian.
Of course. Yeah.
Now, I understand the sentiment, Henry.
Right.
It's another Paul Walker tribute.
Right.
But is it weird to name your son after just one of your friends? Because Brian is still alive in this universe.
Yeah,
I would think it was weird if you had a kid and then just were like, "Hey, guess what? I named it Daniel."
But you were alive. You hadn't died. Yeah.
I'd be like, "What the? Why? You're a weirdo."
It's a little much. I had the same thought. I didn't, and I thought maybe I was being cold, but because Seven does such a nice job of writing him out.
Mm-hmm.
There's
one line early in Fate of the Furious where they, someone says like, who would know what to do.
Yes.
And then someone else says like, we can't call Brian and Mia into this. They're retired. Like we promised we wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and he calls him Buster, which I liked.
Yeah,
his name, and that was enough.
That's all I needed.
Yeah, but no, they got to name the kid after the guy who's still living, as a further tribute to Paul Walker. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless here's an idea. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
These movies keep going and going and going, and then Brian grows up and he becomes, the new Brian O'Connor of the franchise.
I love it. I hope that happens. An elderly Vin Diesel. I mean, we could do it. We could cut like 16 years in the future and like hire some fucking teen to play Vin Diesel.
Miles Teller is now Brian Toretto.
No, he's got to be like mixed race or something. The son of Elena and Dom.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I don't know who you get for that shit.
I don't know, man, but that's my pitch.
I love it. Okay. And we did it.
We did it, man. Marathon.
Fast and the Furious. I loved them. Let's rank them.
Well, you want to do the stars first?
Oh, yeah, right. I'm going to give this one 3.
So am I.
And I'm going to give MVP to... Who do you got?
I got Jason Statham.
I love it. I love that.
He's great in this movie. Absolutely great.
Yeah, I'll go with him too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My LVP is Charlize Theron. Another actress might have pulled it off.
I'm going to go Scott Eastwood.
Yeah, figured.
Yeah.
And let me just give my superhero count. There's only 2.
Okay.
Scott Eastwood.
Of course.
He played a character named Lieutenant G.Q. Edwards in, that's right, Suicide Squad.
Great. Yeah, I remember him in that movie. He sucked in that too.
I don't.
Yeah, he was just like one of the recruiters of the Suicide Squad, part of like Checkmate or whatever the fuck that organization was.
All right. And then here's another one that I didn't know whether to include, but it was based on a DC comic. Helen Mirren is from Red.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
Yeah. So there you go.
Red 2. We can
That's
cover
right.
that series.
Yeah.
All right, you want to go best to worst or worst to best?
Your call this time.
No, you do it.
All right, let's do worst to best.
All right, I'm ready.
The worst Fast and the Furious movie is Too Fast, Too Furious.
That's mine, too.
Oh. The penultimate worst movie is the first one.
I'm also putting the first one.
Wow. Number 3 worst is The Fate of the Furious.
Listen to you. I'm going to say Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Ooh. Okay. Number 4, I'm going to go with Furious 7.
I'm going to go with The Fate of the Furious.
Okay. All right, now we're getting in the other latter half. So the 4th best Furious movie is Fast and Furious, number 4.
I'm saying the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 3rd best Fast and the Furious movie for me was Tokyo Drift.
That's way too high. Oh man, I know that's a fun movie, but Jesus.
But it was the first one I liked.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the first one I liked. So what am I going to do? You know.
I'm putting Furious 7 at number 3.
The 2nd best Furious movie is Fast 5.
Okay, I know what's happening here. I'm gonna go with Fast and Furious 6.
And the number 1 Fast and Furious movie for Henry is Fast and Furious 6.
And mine is Fast 5.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Our lists aren't that dissimilar except for Tokyo Drift.
Yes. That's crazy. So that's it, Henry.